हेलो व्यूवर्स, टाइम टू टाइम हम इस चैनल पर आपको हमारे जो नौजवान एक्सपर्ट्स हैं डिफरेंट फील्ड्स के, हम आपको उनसे उनसे मिलवाते हैं और वो आपके साथ अपने फील्ड की जो बेसिक इंफॉर्मेशन है उसको आपके साथ शेयर करते हैं। और इसके पीछे हमारे दो मकसद हैं। एक तो आपको ये इंस्पायरेशन मिलेगी कि हमारी लोकलिटी से नौजवान डिफरेंट फील्ड्स में आगे बढ़ते हैं, तरक्की करते हैं। इससे आपको भी मोटिवेशन मिलेगी, इंस्पिरेशन मिलेगी आगे बढ़ने की। और दूसरा हमारा बुनियादी मकसद इसका ये है कि हम आपको इन डिफरेंट सब्जेक्ट्स की और डिफरेंट फील्ड्स की थोड़ा बहुत बेसिक हम आपको इंफॉर्मेशन भी देते हैं और वो आपके नॉलेज बैंक में ऐड होती है और आपको एडवांस करने में उसका भी एक इम्पॉर्टेंट रोल होता है। आज का जो ये इम्पॉर्टेंट सेशन है, इम्पॉर्टेंट वीडियो है, इसमें मैंने अपने एक अजीज़ को इनवाइट किया है जिनका नाम डॉक्टर रासिक बरकत है और इन्होंने जियोलॉजी के सब्जेक्ट में डॉक्टरेट की डिग्री हासिल की हुई है। मैं रासिक बरकत का इस प्रोग्राम में वेलकम करता हूँ, खुशामदीद कहता हूँ। वीडियो शुरू करने से पहले मैं आपको डॉक्टर रासिक बरकत का थोड़ा बहुत ब्रीफली इंट्रोडक्शन दे देता हूँ। इन्होंने अलीगढ़ मुस्लिम यूनिवर्सिटी से जियोलॉजी में ऑनर्स के साथ बीएससी की डिग्री हासिल की और बाद में इनको मास्टर्स की डिग्री इसी जियोलॉजी सब्जेक्ट में मद्रास यूनिवर्सिटी से हासिल करने का मौका मिला और इसके बाद इन्होंने दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी से जियोलॉजी में डॉक्टरेट की डिग्री हासिल की है। और दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी, जैसा कि आप जानते हैं कि इंडिया की प्रीमियर यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में इसका शुमार होता है, एक बहुत ही प्रीमियर इंस्टीट्यूट है और इसमें दाखिला लेना ही एक स्टूडेंट की बड़ी अचीवमेंट माना जाता है। तो आज मैंने इनको इनवाइट किया है कि ये जियोलॉजी के हवाले से थोड़ी बहुत बेसिक आपको इन्फॉर्मेशन देंगे। इसके अलावा रासिक बरकत ने 7 बार नेट क्वालिफाई किया है और इन्होंने सेट भी एक बार क्वालिफाई किया हुआ है। और आज हम जियोलॉजी के हवाले से बात करेंगे, जियोलॉजी के सब्जेक्ट के बारे में आपको थोड़ी बहुत बेसिक इन्फॉर्मेशन देंगे। तो रासिक बरकत साहब, हम इस वीडियो सेशन का बाज़ाब्ता आगाज़ करते हैं। तो मेरा जो सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन आपसे है कि आप थोड़ा बहुत हमें इंट्रोडक्शन दीजिए जियोलॉजी सब्जेक्ट के बारे में, या बाज़ औक़ात हम इसको अर्थ साइंस भी कहते हैं। तो थोड़ा बहुत हमारे जो स्टूडेंट कम्युनिटी के लोग हैं उनको थोड़ा बहुत इस सब्जेक्ट की ब्रीफ इंट्रोडक्शन दे दें प्लीज़।
शुक्रिया, बहुत शुक्रिया यहाँ बुलाने के लिए। जैसा कि आपने कहा कि जियोलॉजी, या इसको हम ऑफन वी कॉल इट अर्थ साइंस और अप्लाइड जियोलॉजी और जियो साइंस। जियोलॉजी इज़ एक्चुअली द ओल्डर टर्म. जियोलॉजी वाज इनिशियली इट वाज द स्टडी ऑफ रॉक्स, जिसको हम पेट्रोलॉजी भी कहते हैं. So later on the subject evolved.
Okay.
It started, apart from the study of rocks, it started studying the landforms of this earth.
Okay.
And then there came the study of ocean, the study of atmosphere, then the remote sensing, then the paleo life, paleoclimate, and subject kept on evolving.
Okay.
So what is a rock? Rock is actually, I call it a satellite.
Okay.
Rock records everything that happened on this earth right from its beginning. That is what we call 4.6 billion years ago. 4.6 billion years ago, this earth came into origin.
Okay.
Then whatever happened on this earth, that is recorded in rocks. In terms of its climate, in terms of its atmospheric composition, like how oxygen evolved. In terms of ocean, what was the temperature of ocean, what was the chemistry of the ocean, how ocean evolved, everything is recorded in the rocks. So geology is actually all about study of earth, its atmosphere, and study of ocean. And the subject is not that new, but it is new to most of the people, so it is still evolving. So that is what we call geology. It is basically the study of rocks, study of landforms.
तो अर्थ साइंस में जियोलॉजी की एक प्राइम पोजीशन है, एक प्राइम इम्पोर्टेंस है।
Right.
तो उस हवाले से थोड़ा बहुत हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को बता दें प्लीज़।
Right. So Earth science, there are several subjects which are studying the earth. For example, we have geography on one hand, we have geology and its allied subjects on the other side. Then we have environmental science also, which is dealing with certain aspects of earth. But geology is basically the basic difference between other subjects and geology is that, like, geography deals with the surface of the earth,
Okay.
but geology is going deep inside the earth.
Yes.
Like, it is studying the earth from its core to crest through mantle.
Okay.
And then geology is also dealing with the paleo earth. It is
Okay.
dealing with the earth right from its origin. Now geology is not only dealing with the earth, it is dealing with the other planets also. Like, presently NASA is studying the Mars. Geology is playing a very important role in at Mars.
Okay.
Geologist is the basic component of the Mars team.
Okay.
We are studying the rocks there, and we are evaluating what was the climate on the Mars, how the rocks of Mars have evolved or how they have formed. So geology is basically different from other earth science subjects, but is very important. It is very important. It is like a detailed study of earth right from its
From
origin.
the point of view of study of earth, geology is a very important
Very
subject.
important, very important subject.
तो एक इम्पॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है कि जम्मू कश्मीर की जॉलजी के हवाले से जब हम बात करते हैं तो जॉलजिकली जम्मू कश्मीर बहुत ही रिच है। तो इस हवाले से हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को बताएं कि जम्मू एंड कश्मीर की जॉलजी के बारे में और क्या स्कोप है उन स्टूडेंट्स के आगे, उनके पास क्या स्कोप है अगर वो इस सब्जेक्ट को ऑप्ट करेंगे एज अ कैरियर।
Right. First thing is the geology of Jammu and Kashmir, or we say Kashmir Valley, to be more precise. How this Valley of Kashmir came into existence, that is the fundamental question that people should know. Basically, some 60 million years ago, there was no valley in this area.
Okay.
It was an ocean, what we call Tethys Sea.
यस।
That time, this Indian continent was in the southern hemisphere.
यस।
And in the north there was what we call Eurasia or Asian continent. This southern continent, the Indian continent, it started moving towards north, and some 60 million years ago it started colliding with the Eurasia.
यस।
That is what we call continent collision.
Yes.
एक कॉन्टिनेंट दूसरे कॉन्टिनेंट के साथ कोलिजन कर रहा है,
कॉन्टिनेंटल प्लेट एक दूसरी कॉन्टिनेंट प्लेट से
कोलाइड कर रहा है।
जी जी।
What happens when one continent collides with another continent? We get folding like this.
Folded mountains are formed.
That is what is Himalaya.
Yes.
So Himalaya is a youngest mountain range on this earth.
Yes.
We have Alpine, we have Ural. These are the continental collision mountains. But Himalaya is the youngest continental collision on this earth.
Yes.
And that is what happened some 60 million years ago, and it started evolving up to 35 million years ago. Then within this Himalayan range, there are several inter-mountain ranges.
Okay.
For example, Kashmir Valley is one such valley, one such basin, where we have in northeast we have Zanskar.
Okay.
And in north and in southwest we have Pir Panjal.
Okay.
So there is Pir Panjal on one side, there is Zanskar range on other side. In between we have a valley.
Okay.
Some like more than 200 kilometer long,
Yes.
and 120 kilometer wide.
Yes.
This valley. So then, in terms of geology, we have rocks here, rock records here right from Precambrian. That is as old as 542 million year ago rocks we have here. Then we have Cambrian rocks here, like 540, 520, 500 million years ago. So from Precambrian till recent, till today, we have everything recorded in rocks here. And one of the important that I am supposed to mention here are Karivas of Kashmir.
Yes.
They are very famous. Karivas of Kashmir are actually fluvial and lacustrine. Fluvial means the product of river.
Okay.
And lacustrine means the product of lake.
Okay.
So we have lacustrine deposits in Kashmir. That is what we call Karivas of Kashmir. They are very famous geologically. Throughout world, Karivas of Kashmir are known.
Yes.
particularly when you talk about the saffron
I
cultivation.
think on both sides of the valley there are the kariwas are found.
Kariwas are throughout.
Yes.
In this area we have kariwa.
Yes, yes,
You
yes.
just go to the west, you are seeing
yes, yes,
a
right.
small hillock. That is
Yes.
the kariwa.
Yes.
And saffron cultivation is from kariwas. So the kariwas are actually lacustrine deposits, means this was a lake. 2.5 million year old is the age of those lacustrine.
Okay.
So geologically it is quite rich, because we have a rock record right from Precambrian till today, till recent we have rock record in Kashmir.
That means students have a great scope
Yes.
for this subject, particularly in Valley of Kashmir.
In Valley of Kashmir.
Now the most important question is that as per the seismic map of India is concerned, Srinagar falls in zone 5.
4 and 5. Yes.
And
Kashmir.
the rest of the Kashmir is in zone 4.
4. Yes, yes.
So from this point of view, how geology is very important for the inhabitants of Valley of Kashmir particularly.
Right. As you said, the seismic zones. If
Yes.
we see, earlier there were 6 seismic zones in India.
Okay.
Zone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6.
Okay.
But now the classification has been modified. We have total 4 zones in India. That is zone 2, 3, 4 and 5. So entire India falls in zone 2, zone 3, zone 4 and zone 5. So we have total 4 zones.
Okay.
So zone 2 means where we have a very less risk of earthquake.
Okay.
For example, peninsular India falls, most part of peninsular India, where we can have an earthquake maximum of magnitude 2 or 3,
Okay.
which is not that much
It
dangerous
is not any concern for them.
for them, right? Then comes the zone 3. We have some where we have a small risk of like 4 magnitude earthquake can come, 3 or 4, something like that. For example, Chennai, Kolkata, Bhubaneswar, these are the cities which fall in the zone 3.
3.
Then comes the zone 4. Zone 4 is where we have high risk, where up to 6 or 7 magnitude earthquake can come. And then we have zone 5,
Okay.
where the earthquake of more than 9 magnitude can come. You imagine an earthquake of magnitude 9. It will not leave anything, standing around it.
Okay.
So unfortunately, I can say the Kashmir, the northern Kashmir, the Himalayas fall in the zone 5, and the rest of the valley fall in the zone 4,
4.
which is again dangerous, 6 or 7 magnitude. So we have witnessed earthquakes in Kashmir, like in 1886 there is an earthquake recorded where thousands
There is a
of
long,
people
long history
were,
of earthquakes in the
right.
Valley of Kashmir.
And recently we have seen in 2005, which was October 2005.
Yes.
Then in 2013 we saw magnitude of 7 magnitude
Okay.
earthquake. So Kashmir is seismically the active zone. Now the concern is here, we need to understand the geology of Kashmir. For example, earthquake is the product of a fault.
Okay.
What is fault? Fault is a fracture between the rocks where there can be a movement.
Okay.
I am trying to explain it in simple terms,
Okay.
so that students will understand.
Okay.
So this is a rock, there is a fracture in between. If there is a movement, if there is a slip, that is the earthquake.
Okay.
So we need to understand those faults, and every year we come to know new faults.
Okay.
So we need to delineate those faults, where those faults are, and what kind of movement can happen there, and
What
likely
kind of precautions people can take?
yes, we need to implement those things. Like for example, Srinagar city is evolving city.
Okay.
Okay. We don't have a vertical growth yet.
Okay.
We have a horizontal
Yes,
growth.
yes.
City is moving horizontally.
Okay.
But once the population increases, for example 5-6 years down the line, there will be a vertical growth.
Yes.
The buildings will start coming up, like 5-story, 6-story, 10-story buildings.
At
So
that very point of time, we may need geologists, experts
yes,
in the
yes.
earth science.
Yes. So geologists will suggest that time, or even we are suggesting now also, that there should not be a vertical growth of the city.
Okay.
So government has to implement those policies. They should not allow people to move vertically.
Okay.
So that is how geologists play role in seismology.
ये बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चन था कि हम अर्थक्वेक प्रून जोन में रहते हैं,
Right.
तो हमारी डेवलपमेंटल एक्टिविटीज़ कैसी होनी चाहिए, हमारा कंस्ट्रक्शन कैसा होना चाहिए, रोड्स की कंस्ट्रक्शन, हमारे हाउसेस की और दूसरी चीज़ों की कंस्ट्रक्शन हमें कैसे करनी है, उसके लिए हमें जियोलॉजिस्ट्स चाहिए, हमें एक्सपर्ट्स की हमें एडवाइस चाहिए, और ये सिलसिला शुरू भी हो चुका है और आगे इसकी बहुत ज़रूरत पड़ेगी। इस लिहाज से ये क्वेश्चन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट था हमारे स्टूडेंट्स के लिए कि अगर वो जियोलॉजी को एज अ करियर ऑप्ट करना चाहते हैं तो इसके लिए उनके पास एनॉर्मस स्कोप है, काम करने का बहुत ही ज़्यादा स्कोप है।
And one thing is, it is not only the direct impact of earthquake, that it will kill the people, it will destroy the infrastructure. It has indirect impacts also. It triggers the landslides.
Yes, yes.
It can change the course of a river. So those things also need to be kept in the mind, because most of our roads are hilly. For example, Jammu and Srinagar is the only road that connects us. But once if there is a earthquake of 7 or 8 magnitude in the area, it can trigger the landslide. It can turn the this entire road very unstable.
Yes.
So those are the things.
अच्छा, जहाँ तक मिनरल वेल्थ की बात है, जम्मू कश्मीर चूँकि हिमालयन एक रीजन है, तो हिमालयन रीजन एक फोल्डेड रीजन है, तो इसमें मिनरल वेल्थ को भी हम बहुत ज़्यादा एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं।
Right.
तो इस हवाले से भी अगर आप थोड़ी बहुत जानकारी दे दें तो।
Right. So like any other state of India, this Kashmir is, I must say, it is mineralogically very rich.
Okay.
For example, I will name very few, keeping the time
into consideration.
In consideration. For example, first thing is the limestone. Limestone is a rock, okay, which is very important for cement industry. So almost in every district in Jammu and Kashmir we have a good limestone, which is very useful in the cement industry. So then we have graphite in Baramulla. Then we have like coal I can say is there in Udhampur and Rajouri. I must say that we have different levels of coal.
Okay.
For example, peat, lignite, bituminous, anthracite. Kashmir is the only state in India where we have anthracite.
Okay, nice.
That is the richest coal, where we have more than 90% carbon.
Okay.
In the core. That is in Kashmir.
Okay.
We call it Kala Kot in Rajouri. So coal is there. Then we call them precious stones.
Okay.
Gemstones. Sapphire is there.
Okay.
Sapphire is there in this Doda district.
Okay.
So mineralogically it is rich. There are some bauxite is there, which is helpful in making this aluminium. Bauxite is there in Baramulla. It is there in Rajouri, Udhampur. It is there. So Kashmir Valley is mineralogically very rich.
Now a very important question from students' point of view, that is how students can pursue a career in geology, and what are the job avenues after they complete these courses in geology.
Right. This question I am seeing from two perspectives.
Okay.
One is the scope of geology in Kashmir.
Okay.
Having degree in geology, what you will do in Kashmir, and then it is within our country. What are the job avenues in country? So as you know, we do not have private sector in Kashmir
Yes.
yet. It is a government sector. So the main recruiting body is the higher education department.
Okay, yes.
If I see 5, 6, 7 years down the line, geology is going to be there in every college, in every higher secondary at +2 level.
Okay.
So I am very much sure that whosoever is having degree in geology will get adjusted in academics.
Okay.
In 2-4 years. I can see, like in our district, geology is being introduced. Last year they introduced geology in the college. In Anantnag they have introduced geology in college, and now people are trying it gets introduced in every higher secondary, every +2 level. So I must say, those who have degrees in geology, or those who are pursuing the degree, or those who are going to pursue the degree in next 3-4 years, will definitely get adjusted in academics. Then if we see in our country, there are so many recruiting bodies. For example, GSI, Geological Survey of India. It is UPSC who conducts exam for GSI. Every year 60-70 geologists get adjusted. Then we have ONGC is there, Oil India Limited is there, GAIL is there, BPCL is there, HPCL is there, Coal India is there. They are recruiting geologists every year. Hundreds of geologists get adjusted every year as geologists.
Okay.
Then geologists get adjust is like climate specialists. Remote sensing
Oh,
is the
yes.
another. Then hydrogeologists. Hydrogeology is a very important post in GSI.
And there may be some research institutes as well.
Research institutes is ISRO is there,
Yes.
and so many research institutes are there where they are getting adjusted.
Okay.
So there is absolutely no issue when it comes to job prospect in geology. Absolutely no
Has
issues.
technological advancement changed the face of this subject of geology?
Yes, I must say that technology has turned geology into fun. For
Okay.
example, I will name just two, three things. One is the 3D mapping.
Okay.
Like I am in oil industry.
Okay.
This 3D mapping is very essential for us. We are mapping the landforms in 3 dimension because softwares are available there. Then as you were saying, earthquake, we have technology now which are even which are like monitoring earthquakes. Then we have volcanic eruptions, they are monitoring. We can even now with the technology we can predict a volcanic eruption,
Okay.
like days or months before we can predict a volcanic eruption. So then we are dating the rocks. That is
And
again a
there is one
very,
more challenge before geology: prediction of earthquakes.
yeah, it is very difficult to predict the
What is the
earthquake.
challenge for
It
geology?
is a challenge for geologists, but yes, we are very much accurate in predicting the areas which are
Yes, yes.
prone to earthquake.
Yes,
We
yes.
cannot predict the earthquake, but we can delineate the areas which
Yes,
are
yes.
prone to earthquake and what magnitude earthquake can come. That
Yes,
is
yes.
there.
Yes, yes. So, can you name some premier institutes which are in India which students can keep in mind while pursuing geology as their career?
Right. In Kashmir, in our valley, we have Jammu University and Kashmir University. They are giving degrees in geology. But yes, in India, we have some very good institutes where geology is there. For example, Delhi University is
Yes.
there. We have a very good faculty uh, there. We have BHU is there. Then IITs, IIT Roorkee, IIT Kharagpur, IIT Bombay has geology. We have very, very, brilliant professors sitting there in the universities who are teaching geology. So we have so many institutes in then Wadia Institute is there, which is studying the Himalayas. Wadia Institute of Himalayan Geology is in Dehradun. It is all about Himalayas.
Okay.
They are doing studies in Himalayas only. So we have institutes everywhere. In every state we have good institutes.
एक इम्पॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है जो कि कॉमन मैन के लिए है कि यहाँ जब भी लोग कंस्ट्रक्शन करते हैं, अपने हाउसेस कंस्ट्रक्ट करते हैं या कोई और चीज़, तो वो ज़मीन को बहुत काटते हैं. इसके लिए कोई गवर्नमेंट की कोई एजेंसी ऐसी नहीं है जो इसका केयर करे. आपको लगता है कि ये कहीं ना कभी लैंडस्लाइड्स को मतलब ये जन्म दे सकती है, लैंडस्लाइड्स जो कि बहुत ही डेंजरस फिर आगे जाकर साबित होते
See,
हैं?
from geological point of view, sometimes it is, fruitful for a geologist. For example, road cutting is very good for studies, for geological studies. Because when we cut a road, these rocks get exposed. We get fresh cutting.
Okay.
Whenever we see a road cutting, we go and study the rocks there. So sometimes for a geologist it is good, but yes, it in long run it is like very, very disastrous. It can trigger the landslides.
It can be allowed in a very careful manner.
Yes, there are
There should
other
be
solutions.
supervision.
There should be supervision. There are other solutions to it. And one more thing is here we usually, we put advertise on the rock exposures.
Okay.
If you go along the road, for example, Srinagar Jammu highway, you will see several rock exposures where they have advertised something.
Okay.
Some companies
Okay,
advertising,
yes.
which should be prohibited actually.
Okay.
Because you are destroying the rock record. You are
Okay.
destroying the important features on those rocks.
Okay.
So I really feel bad when I see those advertisements on rocks.
Okay.
So even if you go to our district like Ahrbal, you will see very beautiful exposures of rocks are there, but they have painted it and they have put some advertisement there. I really feel bad when I see those things.
थैंक यू वेरी मच. तो मैं डॉक्टर रासिक बरकत का बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ कि वो हमारे यहाँ तशरीफ़ लाए और उन्होंने एग्री किया जियोलॉजी के सब्जेक्ट पर बात करने के लिए. आई वंस अगेन थैंक यू वेरी मच डॉक्टर रासिक बरकत. और आज हमने जियोलॉजी के हवाले से एक फ्रूटफुल डिस्कशन की. اور مجھے امید ہے کہ جو ہماری اسٹوڈنٹ کمیونٹی ہے، جو ہمارے اسٹوڈنٹس ہیں، ان کے لیے بہت ہیلپ فل ثابت ہوگی، اور راسک برکت صاحب کی جو پرسنالٹی ہے وہ بھی آپ کے لیے بہت بہت انسپائرنگ ثابت ہوگی. تھینک یو ویری مچ.
تھینک یو ویری مچ.